All right, everybody, for today's Polymaker Lab video, we're out in the wild and we're going to be testing out combining two different Polymaker materials into one print. For this time, we are doing this 3D printed airless basketball by 3DX AV on MakerWorld. This was printed on the new H2D with one nozzle being TPU 95 high flow and one being Polymax PLA. If any of you haven't seen, I've already tested both of these materials by themselves in this airless basketball. The Polymax PLA held up great. It bounced great, but when I threw it as hard as I could, it did eventually break. While the TPU 95 high flow held up amazing, indestructible, but it didn't bounce all that great. So the thought is, what happens when we do the main part of the print in that Polymax PLA, but we add a slight cushioning around it in TPU 95 high flow? All right, time for the initial drop test. Let's see how it goes. Okay, not too bad. I'm not expecting it to break from normal drops when the Polymax PLA held up, but let's see, it is bouncing a little bit less with that outer shell, but it is bouncing. Oh no, right there. Wow, that is surprising. I wonder if doing the dual material made it so that there might have been a little bit of gaps in the Polymax PLA, because that is very odd when the Polymax PLA held up just great by itself. All right, let's get a slow-mo throwing this real hard at the ground. Well, that is unfortunate to say the least. All right, let's see if we can figure out what was going on there, because as you see on the screen right now, our regular basketball, same exact model, but only printed in Polymax PLA, printed great, and it didn't break until I threw it as hard as I possibly could to the ground. So it is very odd that this print broke, even though it's all Polymax PLA and just with an outer layer of TPU. The current theory that we have is that when printing these two materials, there might be some TPU getting laid on the actual Polymax PLA, which is hurting the layer adhesion. This is our best theory just because we know TPU is often very stringy, and so if there's any hairs or anything like that that are going over the Polymax PLA, then that will affect the layer adhesion. So this is just one important hiccup to know about when you're trying to do dual material printing. There is odds that your one material will overlap with your other material and affect the layer adhesion. But that doesn't mean we give up over here at Polymaker. I got an H2D, I got a ton of filament, so we're gonna keep testing this until we get a perfect dual material basketball.